So hello and good morning once again from Assisi. This is actually where, I don't know if I mentioned, we're staying over. It's our accommodation, which is so perfect because the city, I don't even know if it's classed as a city, but it's one of the bigger villages here, the medieval ones, but it's so perfect, it's so beautiful. So I'm so glad we're here and we get to wake up here every morning to a stunning view. You can hear the birds singing, the bells ringing. I think the bells stop probably around 10, and I think they only start going at like 8 a.m. so they don't disturb at night if you're concerned. But it's so lovely to hear, and oh my gosh, it's like we're in a, I don't know, in a surreal place. It's so beautiful, so quiet and calm. Very happy. Today's Saturday, so yeah, we're nearing the end of our little vacation away, but I think Umbria so far, from what I've seen in Italy, is definitely my favorite region, and Veneto. But in terms of medieval villages, Umbria has captured me. And there we heard the sound of the bells. What a lucky moment. And by the way, so yesterday we really focused on Assisi. We went all around to the churches, all the important spots I think I mentioned. Then we went to Spoleto, a nearby medieval town about 20 minutes drive away. And we explored that. It was very beautiful. But yeah, that one is much smaller, so it takes much less time. We went there in the evening, and then we had some dinner there. At a very nice place, actually, I would recommend it. It was very tasty food, very simple, like a small menu, but it was very good. A nice service. And today we're going to go a little bit outside of Assisi first to some two important, I think they're both cathedrals or churches. But yeah, they're just outside of the city kind of limits of the medieval kind of old town. And then after that, we're most likely going to visit the two other medieval villages which we have on our list. One of them is Montefalco, and the other one is, oh, I always blank on this one. Puglia, that's the one. So that is the plan for the day. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited to continue the adventure. Sì. Eremo delle Carcere is a place that feels suspended between earth and sky. High on the slopes of Mount Subasio, about 4 kilometers above Assisi, this small hermitage has been a retreat for prayer and solitude since the time of St. Francis. He would come here with his companions to withdraw from the world, seeking the quiet of the forest and the echo of the valley below. The complex grew around a natural cave, and even today the architecture feels as though it has simply grown out of the rock itself. Narrow stone passageways, tiny chapels, wooden doors worn smooth by centuries of hands. everything invites silence. The oak trees surrounding the hermitage are said to be descendants of the very wood Francis loved. Walking through Eremo delle Carcere, you understand why this place mattered. It is not grand, it is not monumental, it is intimate, a reminder that spiritual life, for Francis and his followers, was rooted in simplicity, nature, and retreat. A rare place where the landscape and the spiritual history of Assisi meet perfectly. After leaving the quiet forest around the Eremo delle Carcere and descending the slopes of Mount Subasio, the landscape opens into the wide Umbrian plain, and that is where the Basilica di Santa Maria degli Angeli lies. From a distance, it dominates the valley, its grand Baroque facade and enormous dome standing in deliberate contrast to the medieval hill town above. The basilica was built in the 16th and 17th centuries, designed with clean, monumental lines that guide the eye inward. Its facade uses classical symmetry and strong pilasters to create a sense of balance, while the vast dome rises 70 meters high, echoing the great Roman-inspired domes of central Italy. Yet all of this architecture exists to shelter something almost startlingly small, the Porziuncola. Inside the immense space, you walk toward a tiny stone chapel at its heart, the place where St. Francis gathered his first followers and where the Franciscan movement truly began. The contrast between the grand scale of the basilica and the modest size of the Porziuncola is one of the most striking architectural experiences in Umbria. So we just visited Santa Maria de' Angeli, and before that we were at the sort of the caves where San Francisco used to go and pray, which over time and years had been built into a sort of like a recluse sanctuary for prayer, but now it's just a place to visit. And now we're stopping in a grocery store for lunch things and any tasty local foods to take back as gifts. Montefalco stands on a high ridge in the heart of Umbria, and its position has shaped its identity for more than 1,000 years. Known as the Balcony of Umbria, the town overlooks rolling vineyards and olive groves, and its circular medieval layout still follows the line of its ancient defensive walls. The narrow streets spiral gently upwards towards Piazza del Comune, a quiet, elegant square framed by stone palaces and porticos that reflect Montefalco's prosperity during the medieval and Renaissance periods. Its architecture blends Romanesque foundations with later Gothic and Renaissance touches, most famously preserved in the former Church of San Francesco, which today houses extraordinary frescoes by Benozzo Gozzoli that chart the life of Saint Francis. These layers of art and stone show how Montefalco balanced both spirituality and civic pride across the centuries. Today, the town is equally known for its landscape of vineyards. This is the home of San Grantino, one of Italy's most distinctive wines, and much of daily life still revolves around agriculture, craftsmanship, and small family-run cantinas. Montefalco, rather than growing outward, has held onto its scale and identity, making it one of the most characterful hill towns in the region. So now we were just in Montefalco, which was lovely, similar to Spello, and we just had a walk around. And now we're on to the next stop. So we're now in Foligno. It's definitely not as cute as the other medieval villages yet. Let's see. So far the vibe is much too modern for my taste. Foligno sits on the Umbrian plain, and unlike the hill towns we have been exploring, it grew as a crossroads, a place shaped by trade, movement, and civic life. Its streets follow a Roman grid, and the historic center still gathers around Piazza della Repubblica, with the cathedral and medieval palaces facing one another. So we've just got back to our Airbnb, well, booking, whatever it's called, and we were in Foligno, which we do not recommend. Not sexy, not a cute medieval town. It was definitely more of a large, functional, regular city. And now it's about 5:15, so we're going to take a little chill moment as we've been traveling around a lot. And then tonight we most likely will have an Assisi dinner for our last night, which is quite sad. And then tomorrow, most likely on our way back home to the Veneto region, we will stop in Perugia, hopefully. But yeah, it's been a lovely day. It's so warm. We've been very, very fortunate with the weather because it is relatively early spring, so you just never know. But yeah, that's us for now. And now, time to chill, scroll a bit, probably on our phones, and just relax. This is our view, which every single time I see it, I am amazed. Dai Matteo, dopo sono imbriaca. As we make our way back to our accommodation, we suddenly hear the deep rolls of drums echoing through the streets, almost like a medieval war band. I take off down the hill to see what is happening, and when I reach the square, I find a full medieval scene unfolding. Musicians in period clothing are performing, people are gathered in costume, and a private banquet is set behind ropes. It might be part of the Calendi Maggio festival, a moment when Assisi steps straight back into the medieval past. So hello and good morning from our last day in Umbria. You can hear hopefully the bells in the background. We've woken up to a beautiful cloudy day, which is perfect to leave with. I've just got ready, as you can see. Still looking a bit sleepy. Sorry for the interruption. There was just some people passing by. We're in a beautiful little road. Typically there's no one here, but this morning there's a couple. But yeah, it's been so lovely yesterday. We visited quite a few villages. As I mentioned yesterday, the last one was maybe not as beautiful. And then in the evening, we ate here locally, again from one of the host's recommendations. It was very tasty food. The service was average, but the food was very good. It was not bad because Italians are generally very friendly. But yeah, it was really nice. And yeah, it's been so, honestly, the Airbnb is in such a prime position. Oh, and okay, the coolest thing happened. So after dinner, we were making our way back to the apartment. We're literally a 5-minute walk away, less. And we heard, because we've heard for a few days like these drum practices. And then last night we heard them starting up again, and it was actually, I think, the parade. So we quickly went down to the square, which is just below us, is very close as well. Like I said, this was a really great position where we are. We went downstairs, and there they were, and you would have seen the video, and I'm sure I'm going to show it again. Because I rewatched the videos. The impact is not the same, of course, through the screen, but the drums were so loud, and I was right in the front row, and it was just so intense. Like, I could really see how this would motivate people or scare them. Like, it was just so intense, and it made you feel so emotional. But not only that, there was a physical vibration. So my clothes were actually blowing from each like strike that they made towards the drum. And I mean, the power that they were using, I think we were there for maybe 20 minutes, and by the end those boys were sweating. It was only boys, because actually this Italian lady next to me said, "But are there any women?" I said, "Sorry, I don't know." She's like, "Oh, you're not from here?" And I was like, "Very flattered you think so, but no." But but it was a very strong sort of impression. It was really cool. I'm so happy on our last night we got to experience that as well. And then there was a big party afterwards. I think it was all for the locals, but it was very special to just watch that percussion display, which was like very medieval. Oh, here comes the bells. I love having bells. They don't bother me at all. I think it just makes the vibe even better. When we were living in Basel in Switzerland, we also had they weren't too far away, but they never bothered us. But it was very cool to have the bells ringing. I actually don't even know how regularly. Certainly on the weekends I would hear it on Sundays and things, but I feel like, I don't know. But anyway, so this has been an amazing holiday. As you can see, we are probably going to go to Perugia today. The host has let us tell him when would be ideal to check out. He has a time, but he was quite flexible, and he's very kind. So we're going to check out soon. We're all getting ready, and then back to the road trip, back towards Veneto, Italy. Spoleto is set where the hills rise sharply from the valley floor. Its history stretches back to the Umbrians and Romans, and later it became an important Lombard duchy, which left a strong mark on its architecture and layout. At its heart are important Roman remains, including the Teatro Romana, still partially preserved and used today for performances, and the nearby amphitheatre, both reminders of Spoleto's role as a significant Roman city. The town is built across different levels, connected by steep streets, staircases, and monumental structures like the Ponte del Torri, the vast aqueduct bridge that spans the valley. Above it all sits the Rocca Albornoziana, the medieval fortress that once controlled the entire region. Today, Spoleto feels layered and almost vertical in its experience, where ancient stone, Roman structures, and medieval power all stack into one continuous landscape.